Hello everyone, I am Munidharshan from Fortune IAS Academy. Today we are going to be discussing the GS3 answer sheet of one of our toppers from this year's examination. The topper we are going to be discussing is Malini S, who secured All India rank 81 in this year's examination. For those people who she may seem familiar, she was also the first rank in the inaugural Kerala Administrative Service examination, the results which we announced last year. So she's pretty good at cracking these UPSC style examinations. GS paper 3, when we look at it, it's a paper which has got multiple different topics molded into one GS paper. So GS paper 3, when you look at the syllabus, it is economic development, it is aspects of agriculture, science and technology, environment and internal security. Even disaster management also to add to it. So we got like these 5-6 different topics which are molded together into one single paper. And often it is one paper in which aspirants feel they have done well, but when the actual marks come out, they don't quite match up to expectations. So how do you actually match up to expectations in GS3? What does Malini or what does toppers like Malini do which will make their answers stand out, or their GS paper 3 specifically stand out in an examination? So that's what we're going to look at now. So I've taken one of her answers or a couple of her answers from the last year's main test series which we conducted, which she wrote. So let's take a look at Malini's answers now. So the first question which we're going to look up in GS3 is regarding doubling farmers' income, which is one of the most important topics in GS3 and even in GS2, because it's one of the most important policies which the government has been following, the central government has been following for the past few years. So this question, when we look at it, it says, discuss the progress made by India in the pursuit of doubling farmers' income. So you got progress and doubling farmers' income. And not just that, also analyze the challenges and opportunities for the same in the current global scenario. So when we look at any question, let it be this or any other question you get in the mains, every question will have a demand of certain things you need to answer in that question. This question is kind of simpler in that regard because it directly demands, or in the direct statement itself, it's given to you what is demanded from that question. So the first thing which Malini would have done is she would have divided this question into 3 parts. So there is progress, challenges and opportunities. Add an intro and a conclusion to that, that will give her the structure to the question. So now let's look at how she has gone about in addressing this question. So let's look at her intro. One of the things which Malini often talks about when she discusses intros with me is she wants to create magic with us. She's a person who puts a lot of thought into how to make her intros stand out, how to make her intros distinct. So let's look at what she has done in this particular segment as intro wise. Doubling farmers' income by 2022 is a target set by Ashok Dalwai committee. Straight away there's a committee coming in to ensure sustainability in the occupation of agriculture, which employs about 50% of India's workforce. So when you look at what she has done to make this intro stand out, she has brought in a committee, and the second thing she has brought in a statistic. So when you look through Malini's answers, you will always find stats or committee recommendations thrown out. So that is something which she constantly does to make her answers stand out. And she has specifically worked on committee recommendations and also these stats. But when you look at this stat is very simple. It's a stat which most UPSC aspirants should know. Agriculture employs 50% of India's workforce. It's a very simple stat. And she has added a committee to it. Anyone who studied about this will have learned about the committee as well. So she has put together 2 very simple things to create an impressive opening to her answer. So that's how she has made her intro stand out, is just bring in a committee name and a stat. And a stat is a very simple stat which almost every UPSC aspirant should know. And then she goes into structure. And she divides the structure by subheadings here. So progress made by India in doubling farmers' income. The first part of the question, she brings a subheading to let the person who's correcting know, okay, I've addressed this part of the question. So progress made by India in doubling farmers' income. And she uses points here. She doesn't use paragraphs. She uses points with examples. For example, ensuring that farmers break even or make profits. Simple language. She boosts that by giving an example. MSP is announced for 21 crops across the country. Now, everyone would know about MSPs, and everyone would know that this is what you need to make farmers get double the income. You need to make it double even or increase their profit. Okay. So, MSP is a very simple thing. So, she has used an example to substantiate a point. Again, this is the basic point which you can even think out in the examination hall, even if you have not studied this. If you just basically prepare for UPSC, you should know about MSPs, you should know this is what is required to break even. So simple thing, she has made it into a point. Again, unconditional money transfer, PM Kisan, Fasal Bima Yojana. So every point she has actually substantiated with an example. And these examples are not out of the world examples, simple examples which almost every UPSC aspirant who has seriously worked on it should know. So she has brought context to those examples in those points. So she has given a context and given an example. And the whole thing is very simple, very easy on the eye, very easy to read through. So a person who's correcting, if I'm correcting this, I can easily go through the points and see that, okay, she's addressed this and just giving me points and examples. So it's easy. And then specific achievements, top producer of milk in the world, second producer of pulses, top exporter of rice. So these are all achievements. Again, these are achievements which are things which we learn in prelims as well. So again, context, she's brought in a context here and put it under the context. Then we look at the challenges. So we have challenges and opportunities. So challenges, again, she has used subheadings, structural issues, and challenges under the current global scenario. So there was this keyword, current global scenario. She's added current global scenario, Russia-Ukraine war, changing food preferences, etc. So basically one current affairs thing, and the rest of the things are general points. Then she's just added some miscellaneous thing just to make her answer look stand out. Then opportunities, again, opportunities go back to the Russia-Ukraine war, which is a current global scenario, preference for healthy and organic food, etc. So, and again, as you can see, in everything, almost every answer which is written, she goes for an example, even a simple example, but always there is an example. And these are things which you need to think about when you're writing an MTS answer. Most people will write simply a point, but will miss out on the example. And this example is what makes her answer stand out here and make us want to read the answer and make us feel that, okay, she's not bluffing around, she actually knows something. So she has addressed all the 3 points. Now let us come to how she has concluded this question. Okay. So the performance of agriculture sector during pandemic showed the potential it holds and the only sector with positive growth rate and it can be boosted in line with SDGs 1, 2 and 4. So SDG is Sustainable Development Goals. Another thing which she does, she has by-hearted all these Sustainable Development Goals. So SDG 1 is zero poverty, 2 is zero hunger. So she has by-hearted this, or at least the most important. There are 17 Sustainable Development Goals. At least by-heart the important ones, like zero poverty, zero hunger is easy. Gender equality as well. So these things are pretty easy. So memorize them and bring them in GS paper 4. So it can help you in introductions, it can help you in conclusions, and even in adding points, substantiating certain points. So here, Malini has brought in the SDGs in her conclusion to make it look good. So what she has done is she has taken up simple points, presented it in a simple manner, but the collection of things, the examples, the very crisp presentation of points, the structuring of the answer, the punches in the introduction and the conclusion make the answer stand out for any person who's checking the answer. So that's what she has done in this question. Let's look at one more of her answers. So this question, so here she has done the underlining for me, thankfully. So this is from the topic E-Technologies in the Service of Indian Farmers. So how E-Technologies can help Indian farmers. This is a specific topic, syllabus topic from GS paper 3, and multiple questions have come from this same theme. So let's look at this question. Digital technologies can serve as the keys to unlock the dormant potential of Indian agriculture discussed. So it's a very, when you look at that theme, it's an almost direct question from that theme. And UPSC has asked this direct question at least 3 or 4 times in the last 5-6 years. So it's something which you can actually prepare for and keep a stock answer for, which is what Malini has done with this question as well. This is the stock answer which we are seeing. many of the toppers have prepared standard answers for topics like this. There's another topic like APMCs, which Agriculture Produce Marketing Committees, which regularly repeats itself in GS paper 3. So again, people prepare stock answers for when that question comes. So this, almost a stock answer. So again, starts with a very simple stuff. Agriculture employs about 50% of India's population and contributes to 17% to India's GDP. Again, something which almost most people know. Agriculture 50% stat is something you can throw around. Starts with that again. Okay. So then she takes a diagram. She uses a diagram to show us what the digital technologies helping agriculture are. Okay. So it starts from GPS, geofencing, satellite mapping. So again, most of the things, again, a common UPSC aspirant would be aware of most of these things, or at least 4 or 5 of them. And again, using a diagram and almost common sense, she has brought in or made her answer stand out by bringing digital technologies. Suddenly it looks like, okay, this person is talking or looking very serious. So how can it unlock the dormant potential? Again, she has selected the heading from the question. So this is something which a lot of toppers do. They select, if they're not exactly sure, they'll select the exact same words from the question and then they will put it as a part of the answer. So then it will, for the examiner, it will seem like, okay, that person has addressed the question. So here she has done dormant potential of Indian agriculture. Again, use specific points with statistics. Just 11% of irrigated land in the world, annual monsoon, so monsoon linked agriculture, fertile northern region, so specific points there. And then how digital technologies can aid Indian agriculture. Again, point an example. So first is predict the amount of inputs required to avoid wastage. Okay. Amount of inputs to avoid wastage. And then an example. Analyzing the soil through soil health card. Again, a simple point, she has made it look, or she's presented it really well, so it looks good on the eye and easy for the examiner to give marks as well. Again, point, example, drones to spray fertilizers. Okay. Point, example with a specific government intervention, which is Kisan app. And she has used a box to show Kisan app, so that the person who's checking the answer would straight away look at it. So that's again something which a lot of toppers do, so that the important points, the important examples they want to show, they will put it in boxes or they will write in capital letters. So here she has done both. She has written in capital letters and she has put it in a box, so the examiner will not miss it. That is an important point. Again, the same thing she has done here, E-now. You can see capital letters and she has also put it in a box. So the point is not mixed and is very specific. So it's critical in the examination, whether it be any GS paper, that not just you write the points, but that points are extremely visible to the examiner. So one thing is you write in such a way that it's easy to read, which she has done. And second, use boxes, use capital letters, or use diagrams as we saw earlier to make the point stand out. So here she has used boxes to make the points stand out. Digitalized land records, Samitwa. Then she has also taken one aspect for challenges. So when you look at discuss the potential, so you also have to write about the challenges, not just what has been done, what are the issues which you are facing is also an important part of the question. So challenges is something she has written, and how to solve challenges, way forward. And again, how she has concluded it, again, using a little bit of smartness to say, she has started here with Industrial Revolution 4.0. So she's saying the Industrial Revolution 4.0 with AI, Internet of Things, blockchain, etc., can bring about a lot of changes. Okay, so again, trying to make her answer stand out. So it is again from something which we know generally. So here it shows a bit of slight aggressiveness, slight smartness to conclude that answer in that particular fashion. So this is how she has concluded that answer. So again, you can see what Malini does is first she structures her answer in a proper way so that all the aspects of the question is answered. She makes sure her points, her important points, are very visible. Uses very simple language and throws in or works extremely hard on the introduction and conclusion to make both of them stand out. So this is the peculiar thing which is done by Malini or has been picked by us, what Malini has done in a GS3 paper.